I have no idea if the video is on. This has been quite a beginning to this Sabbath service. It isn't actually Shabbat yet because the sun hasn't set, but we are doing it earlier because the sun is going to set upon us, and then it's going to be dark. And we are in the Parsha Bereishit, where we get that separation between darkness and light. And it is up to us to manifest the light with our prayer and our song. Even though we're in a state of COVID, we are very socially distanced here on the parking lot and at home. Sorry for the delay. If those of you have been waiting, we were actually recording Renee from St. Lawrence Martyrs and myself for the Thanksgiving Interfaith service that will be coming up. So please watch it on Zoom. It's always the Tuesday right before Thanksgiving. And so we're happy to do the Misha Barak together for that service. So are we ready to shake it all up? Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Hine matov, how wonderful it is to be together. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. And now we're going to turn to Shalom Aleichem on page 142, where we are going to welcome in the angels who are paying attention on this first Shabbat reading of the Torah cycle as we begin anew. Make sure when we get to the Amidah, you are going to do the insert for winter. Yes. We're going to do Shalom Aleichem. Okay, well, we're going to do Lecha Dodi. So let's do Lecha Dodi. No. Go 138, Lecha Dodi. That's what we're going to do. We're going to welcome in the Sabbath bride. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Panei Panei Shabbat Nekala. 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 Verse 1. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Hishmiyanu el hanichad, Adonai echad, Shemo echad, L'shem l'tiferet v'lihi la 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 Dodi, Likrat kala, Panei Panei Shabbat Nekala. Lecha Dodi, Likrat kala, Panei Panei Shabbat Nekala. And now we're going to go to Hatzi Kaddish on page 144 as we're going to separate the Kabbalah Shabbat portion from the rest of our service, our official call to worship. And we ask as we do this that the messengering angels be with us. They check to see if we're actually observing Shabbat, which we are doing. So the Hatzi Kaddish can be found on page 144. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yom echon, v'chayedechol beit Yisrael, bagala v'zman kari v'mera. Yehei shemei Rabba mevarach, le'alam lo me'amaya. Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpar, v'yithromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yithalev, v'yithalal, shemei dekudashah, v'richu le'ela min kol, v'chata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amihiran ve'alma, v'yimero. And as you can see, the Torah has been returned to its Torah color for the entire year, and the white for the festivals and the high holy days has been changed. So, page 147. And so now let us read on the bottom of page 147. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and the warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Lord, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and the joy of your presence. And so now if you will turn in your Siddurim to the Shema that you can find on page 152 and 153. So if you're comfortable standing or sitting, whatever is the best way for you to make that connection to the divinity within you, please do. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod, Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. And now, if you will turn the page, we have the Ve'ahavta on page 154. Please be seated if you are standing. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. And now, if you will turn to page, we're going to go forward and do our Micha Mocha on page 158. And this is our chance to be proactive and go forward with love and light in our hearts and the uncertainty that is behind us, but going forward proactively towards our destiny. Micha Mocha, page 158. For the Amidan, page 164, and do that insert like I said. We now switch over after Shemini Atzeret Simchat Torah. We switch over to winter. Adonai Sefetai Tiftachu Fi Yagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Bezocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Gillah Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה, רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחלקי חיים בחסד, וחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום, יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated and turn to page. We're going to go actually back for Vishamru on page 162. Those who keep the Sabbath shall call it a delight. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam V'erid olam b'nei Yisrael oti Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Well, this Shabbat, we begin the Torah cycle anew with the reading of Bereishit, in the beginning. God created heaven, earth, Adam, Eve, and all manner of living things, as well as what? Shabbat, the Sabbath. It is said that God looked around at his or her accomplishment and said, this world was very good. So what did he mean by that? Were there other worlds? Had others been created and then destroyed either by God or maybe the creatures that inhabited them? Next week, we have Parsha Noah, where we traditionally bless our pets. Because of COVID, we're going to move it to another part of the year so that people that are home right now with their pets, loving them up, being all cozy, will all be able to gather together and bless our pets for the love that they give us in our life. But we know what happened at the time of Noah. pairs were placed upon the ark to repopulate as the world was wiped out in order to be rebuilt. What does this mean for us now in this present day where we see similar calamities with COVID, climate change, a humanity that continually pits man against woman and woman against woman, race relations gone awry, crying out for justice, and a national and global political condition that is crying out for renewal? We just came off of our High Holy Day season, ranging from Slichot through Shemini Atzeret Simchat Torah. We have prayed, we have pleaded, we have cried out for redemption and renewal for weeks. We have made offerings of our spirits and our hearts during these days of awe and through our festival services. Will our prayers be heard and answered? Rewinding our Torah and starting anew gives us the opportunity for a brand new, fresh start and a new perspective on old habits and outworn behaviors that just don't serve us. We have the opportunity to be proactive and to put the promises that we actually made during the Yamim Noraim, the days of awe, put them into action for enhanced ways of living and being. So much of our personal and collective lives are actually right now hanging in the balance, able to turn on a dime as political winds shift and the tides turn. We must be vigilant in our pursuit of truth and justice. We must vote for what matters to us, not just presidentially, but for propositions and measures that can affect the quality of our lives and also influence so many. We must educate ourselves, and then we must act. God gave us free will. God gave us the intelligence and the ability to take our rowboats and save ourselves. In order to be abundant, in order to be free, we just need to be proactive and willing to choose on the side of all that's right and good in our world. The world that God created, honoring this beautiful gift that God gave us. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness stems all the way back to the very beginning of everything, Bereishit. To quote the Midrashic sages in Bereishit Rabbah, it is said, "When the time came for the Holy Blessed One to make the first human being, the ministering angels made themselves into competing councils," the same ones that we were singing to on Shalom Aleichem. Some of them said, "Don't create humans." And others said, "Yes, create them." The angel of kindness said, "Create them, for they will do acts of loving kindness." The angel of truth, Emet, said, "Do not create them, for they will be full of lies." The angel of righteousness said, "Create them, for they will establish justice." And then the angel of peace said, "Do not create them, for they will be in constant strife." What did the Holy One Blessed do? Well, he grabbed up truth and hurled it to the earth, whereupon the ministering angel said before the Holy Blessed One, ruler of all worlds, "What have you done? Why have you chastised the chief of your court? Let truth rise again from the earth." It is up to us. We have to be that truth. We have to pursue it, embody it. This is why we are Temple Emet, Temple of Truth, and enact it justly in our daily lives, our actions with others, and the places we decide to put our passions, our responses to one another, and our individual and collective relations with the world. We were created in the divine image. We have that divinity inside of us. After each act of creation, it was written, "And God saw that it was good." Commentary on this, featured in the Jerusalem Post by Shmuel Rabinowitz, stated, "Our sages bring this midrash as an example of the complexity of the human being. On the one hand, man is righteous and kind, but on the other hand, he is full of lies and strife. Woman too. Humanity has succeeded in reaching to the most amazing peaks of morality and goodness, but has also gone down to the lowest pits of disgusting behavior. This is the same humanity which portrays both beautiful and ugly sides. Was the creation of man a successful enterprise? Was the free will given to man to choose between good and bad not too much of a risk? How did Hashem deal with this dilemma? What did he do? As we said, he threw truth down to the earth, and when the angels cried out against the humiliation of the truth, he, God, calms them down, saying, "Don't worry, truth will arise from the earth." One of the great leaders, Jewish leaders of Kabbalah, Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, explained that the throwing of the truth and its arising from the earth, that pure truth, is in fact contradictory to human nature. But when the truth is thrown to the ground, what happens? It splits into many different little shards, which are then dispersed throughout the world. These are sparks of truth, embedded in each and every human being. Man and woman's role is to collect, gather all of these sparks of truth and connect them until the entire truth rises from the earth, much like the tapestries that we have in our sanctuary. These sparks have been present since the very beginning of time. Bereishit is our call to connect to that source of divinity that created everything that is seen and unseen, and to manifest it in ourselves and in our world. We have the power to put those broken shards back together again. We have the power to reconstruct ourselves every single day that we wake up and are given another day to live this life, to make different choices. We have the free will to choose between right and wrong, but choose between truth or lies and repair that which is broken. We have the power to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Let us call upon the truth that is our mission, Emet, and work to support and rebuild ourselves, our community, and our world into something our ultimate parent, Avinu Malkeinu, could be proud of, so that ultimate destruction and ruin will not be our fate as in the time of Noah, and instead build the world of promise God created us for, flowing with milk and honey, a garden of Eden in which we can dwell in ultimate truth and purity and light. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will, and may God give us the wisdom and the strength to proceed on this Shabbat and always. Shabbat Shalom. So now we are going to do a Misha Berach, a prayer for healing. We're going to get a lot of healing out there because when we were preparing for the Thanksgiving interfaith service and we were recording, we sang it at least like 6 times. So we want to give a special shout out of Refuah Shlema, intention, kavanah, real prayerful intent to our beloved Carol Casper, Bert Belzer's sister, who's been in the hospital. She fell in her shower and she has some contusions, a brain bleed, and a broken arm, but she's doing well. She's a sturdy little one, and maybe she'll show up at Lunch Bunch on Wednesday, we hope. And also to Bella Forster, who has been struggling with pneumonia. She does not have COVID, but she has been very, very sick. So our prayers for Refuah Shlema go out to them as well. And also to Terry Schneier, who will actually finally have some surgery and be fixed up and sewn up and healed. So hopefully what they need to do to make that happen will happen in the next few weeks, and then she'll have her surgery. So for them and for all of our members and for our family and friends out there and all the individuals throughout the world that need a prayer of healing of both body and spirit, we send this out to them now. Our Misha Barak, you can find it on page 371. Misha Barak. Mekor havracha le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach imotenu mekor havracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with Refuah renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, so just go ahead and take a moment to see your loved ones, the ones that you want to send a refuah shlema to in your mind's eye. Maybe say their names in your heart and your being, and we wish them all a complete and full healing. And so if you're able to, please rise as we turn to page 586 for the Aleinu. When we do the Aleinu, we are acknowledging, actually, that we're praising God. When we put that praise out, the praise reflects back upon all of us. It actually says, let us now praise the sovereign of the universe and proclaim the greatness of the one creator who spread out the heavens and established the earth, our Parsha this Shabbat, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else. Therefore we bow in awe and thanksgiving before the one who is sovereign over all, the Holy One, Blessed One. So now it's on the bottom of page 586. It will continue on the top of page 588 and then the middle of 591. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tei gidula l'yotzer Bereishit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtakavim u'modim, lifnei melech Malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim veyoser aretz, hu moshev yekaru b'shamayim ima'al, u'shechinatu zo, v'gov hei meromim, hu Eloheinu einod, Emet malkeinu efes ulato, kakatuv b'torato, v'yadata hayom v'yadata hayom v'hashivota el levavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim ima'al, ve'al haaretz mitachat einod, v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo echad. Please be seated. Yes, I like that exclamation point. And actually, and thus it has been said, Adonai will be the sovereign over all the earth, and on that day Adonai will be one, and God's name will be one. Yes, with a little woof woof to seal it. A little chatimah there. So now we are going to move to our Kaddish, and we're going to have some announcements. And I do want to say to Tony, because we have to be socially distanced, I'm sending you the vibrations and the energy and the love in honor of your birthday. Yay. Your birthday, which comes at the time of the birthday of the beginning of our Torah and of our readings. May God be with you. May you have an abundance of really good health. I know you have an abundance of love in your family that's not going to let anything happen to you. So may you live to 120 like Moses. And may you want to do that. May you do it with vigor and strength. But may you know that your community is with you and loves you. And we know that we're so grateful to you for sharing your beloved wife, your beshert, your soulmate, to be our president. So Yom Huledet Sameach. So everybody, let's sing for Tony. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. And anyone in this month, Yom Huledet Sameach. I know, Tony, you like those high notes, so I gave it. I shouted it out for you. And we had a choir of woof woof. That was one over there in honor of your birthday. So as we think of all of our loved ones who have moved on into the eternal realm, we've done so much of that over Yizkor in these past days. You'll turn to page 598. We do want to ask that they be given eternal peace in the heavenly realm, and that they will know true goodness and a high seat alongside their loved ones that have actually moved on before. So if you have a loved one that has passed in the last week, would you please rise and say their names, and at home say their names aloud? The last 30 days, the Shloshim period, if you have somebody that you've loved and lost, please rise, say their names. If you've lost somebody in the last 11 months, please rise and say their names. Diana? And anybody at home, please do that. And if you're observing the yard site, the anniversary of a loved one's death, please rise and say your loved one's names. Say it aloud if you're at home. Raise your hand if you're already standing. Anyone have a yard site at this time? So together we rise for the Kaddish on page 598. I'll raise my hand when I say V'yimaru. You say Amen. I agree that the divine should be glorified and blessed for the love of our family members that have moved on and our friends. And I do want to say that Dan, Susie Abramowitz's family called, and they want to donate a keyboard with a bench. So you will probably not have to bring your keyboard back and forth for the outside services. So I'll put you in touch so you can do that. So thank you, Susie, up there still taking care of us, even when it's Shabbat, and to her mom, Babs, and her family who called. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yeruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayeh d'chol beit Yisrael, Bagalav izman kari v'miru. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam l'omei amaya. Yitbarach v'ish tabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudasha b'reichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alama v'yimru. Yehei shalama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May God, who is the creator of all worlds, everything seen and unseen, grant eternal rest to our loved ones in the heavenly realm, that realm that we can feel with our hearts, sometimes our minds, sometimes we get messages, but that we just know that they're taken care of and they're loved and they're in a good space. So we ask that the Blessed One, the Holy Blessed One, watch over them and those ministering angels. So now we are going to have a seat, and our president is going to have some announcements, and then we will go on ahead and bless one another with the Birkat Kohanim and sing our final songs. And those of you that are going to dinner will go to dinner. Those of you that are eating dinner at home will do so in your jammies or whatever. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Is this on? Can you hear me? Okay. Well, it's lovely to be celebrating Shabbat with you all, those of you who are here in our parking lot, and those of you at home watching on our YouTube channel. Thanks so much again to Rabbi Cantor, Didi. That was a beautiful service, and I loved what you had to say. Thank you, Dan Spector, and our talented musicians, Marianne Rothstein on violin, Hilda Weintraub on harp, and Amy has joined us on ukulele tonight. Our services and flowers are sponsored by me tonight in honor of Tony's 86th birthday. Now, I don't know how this happened, because just yesterday we were enjoying a surprise party for his 50th birthday, and he had been out all day on a friend's boat, and they all showed up at the party soaking wet. What a surprise. At our services tonight, some of us will be going to dinner at 7 o'clock at Rock and Brews. And we have reservations, and if you didn't tell Brian that you are joining, please let him know as soon as possible so we can adjust our reservation. Notice that we started at 5:30 tonight. I hope all of you out there in cyberspace got that. But we will be starting at 5:30 for quite a while because it's getting darker, and we'll continue to do so. But we thought we were going to need heaters, but it's very hot today. We don't know where winter is. We're still in summer. So thanks to Mark and Elias and Tim and Brian for the setup, and of course to Mark Tannen, our camera guy exceptional, and our expert of the wires, Andrew Liu. Well, it's more or less back to the new normal with some added things to look forward to. This means Bible study, Torah study, Hebrew class, all on Zoom. So watch for the reminders and the Zoom links in your email. Did you get a chance to join in on our newest class, a music appreciation adventure led by Dan Spector yesterday. We all loved it. He will be teaching the class twice a month from now on. It will meet at 7 o'clock until the end of December on the first and third Thursday of the month. Now, that's a change from the original plan. And starting in January, it will switch to the second and fourth Thursday. It's always the same link, but Judy Fradkin will send out a reminder the week of the meeting. So plan to join our musical gang on November 6th. And yes, there will be a test. No, there won't. Guess what? Our intrepid lunch bunch has returned. Our first meeting will be next Wednesday, October 21st at 12:30 at the Pan on Pacific Coast Highway and Oak, the south side of PCH. So let me know if you want to join us. And that is actually Tony's birthday on the 21st. So how could we miss this opportunity to celebrate with the Lunch Bunchers? Outdoors, of course, distance with masks, the whole routine. And obviously I didn't do it right with the microphone because I'm never going to learn this. But by the time I learn it, we probably won't have to do this anymore. So we already have 15 people at the Lunch Bunch, and if you want to join, let me know right away. Sisterhood had their first book discussion on Zoom Sunday, October 4 at 2 o'clock. It was very successful, and we all loved Garlic and Sapphires by Ruth Reichel. Our next meeting is Sunday, November 1st at 2 o'clock on Zoom. Now, our new book is the funny and delightful A Year in Provence by Peter Mayle. You can get it on softcover or Kindle at AmazonSmile.com. Do Amazon Smile, they give us a donation. Text Sherry Silver as soon as possible and let her know you want to join, and she will email you my reading guide. Send Sonny Moss a check for $10 payable to Sisterhood. Remember, this is a fundraiser. I'm looking forward to another lively discussion. Now, those of you who keep saying, right, I've got to do that, please do it so we know how many will be joining us. At our last meeting, everyone wanted to join in again, so get cracking, folks. This is indeed the new normal, so we're all getting used to doing everything on Zoom. Okay. So by now, you should have received my letter attached to a hard copy of my Yom Kippur appeal. This used to be printed in the President's column after High Holidays when we had our newsletter. It's a gentle reminder that if you haven't yet sent in your Yom Kippur pledges or money donations, please do so. Would you even consider being a legacy donor and pay us something every month? $100 a month? $50 a month? $25 a month? $10 a month? Linda Klugman, our hardworking treasurer, can set it up with your chosen amount automatically deducted from your credit card. You'll hardly even feel it. Come on, you can do that. So come on, folks, we're counting on your support, and anything, and I do mean anything, that you can give us to help us get through this very difficult time will be very appreciated. So call me if you want to talk. You know I miss you too. Stay well until we meet again. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. That was so wonderful. We do also want to, Lador Vador from Generation to Generation. We're thrilled to have Jason Klugman starting with us, learning the technical things of camera and audio, video from Andrew back there, and also Mark Tannen. So thank you, Jason, for showing up. You know, you had your bar mitzvah, you had the Ten Commandments, you had Yitro, and you're still here, and your mother's still our treasurer. Woohoo! Thanks to your dad, thanks to everybody, and most particular to Sky, to your puppy that's the new member of the family. The other thing I do want to say about those legacy donations, it's hard to believe. When we first were building our synagogue, when we were building this building, I called a lot of the members and asked them to participate as legacy donors. I myself am a legacy donor. It was a 10-year commitment, and we're already 7 years into that 10 years. And so hopefully everybody that signed up for 10 years will continue to do that. But we do need, there's been new members since 2013 when we started building this building, and 2015 when we moved in. So please, whatever it is, I switched over to the monthly payment program so I don't feel it. Right, Linda, our treasurer? I mean, you know, you do it in a big lump sum every year. It's a little harder, and you got all the other times you're giving money. But that monthly payment, it's like, you know, if you don't go to Starbucks a few times a month, or you don't, if you're home and you don't order in one pizza, you'll be okay. So please think about it. So now we want to bless one another with the Birkat Kohanim, that priestly benediction that goes back right to the beginning of time. Bereishit, in the beginning, there were the Kohanim, and they blessed us. So everyone please rise if you're able. And if you're in a family unit and you want to put your arm around your loved one, please do so. And so we call upon the Holy Blessed One to bless us and to make the decision to stand behind this world that he or she saw to be very good, and to help us, we are co-partners, to help guide us in our choices and in our consciousness, and to be that inspiration, that little Jiminy Cricket conscience that wells up within us, to help us choose on the side of all that is true, right, and just. And help us to make the decisions. It doesn't matter, we're all individuals, the ones that, we feel are right for us. Let us do that. Let us vote. Let us do what's right for our country. And everyone's watching. The world is watching. So we want to do the right thing. And guess what? Avinu Malkeinu, God is watching too, if you so believe. So I believe that, or I wouldn't be here. So let us be children that we can be proud of our own individual choices, and that the light from above will shine down upon us and help us to continue to grow and evolve into all that we were destined, always meant to be. Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom. Ken yehi ratzon, may it be God's will, may God's countenance shine upon you, be with you always, and grant you peace. And our closing song, what shall we do? Adon Olam, page 625. She knows I'm going to ask her to do that one more time. I just love it. One more time. It's a rerun in the Torah. Whew. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, V'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Leik Nasa, V'cheso Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. Yetzir nivra le'nasa v'chefso kol hazay melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kitlo hakol levado yimlok nora ve'hu haya ve'hu haveh ve'hu yiyeh v'tifara Adon Olam asher malach v'terem kol yetzir nivra le'nasa v'chefso kol hazay melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kitlo hakol levado yimlok nora ve'hu haya ve'hu haveh v'tifara Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you for being with us.